Your life will become lighter when you learn not to care about things that don't matter. How much time in our lives have we spent worrying about trivial matters? How many times have we stayed up late just thinking about an offhand remark from someone? How often have we let our emotions be influenced by a look of disdain or a judgment from someone who doesn't really matter? There are burdens we impose on ourselves simply because we care too much. We grow up believing that we must please everyone, that we must be recognized, that we must chase something called success according to societal standards. But few people teach us that not everything is worth our attention. Why do we care so much? From a young age, we are programmed to care about how others perceive us. As children, we want our parents to be proud of us. At school, we seek approval from teachers. As we grow older, we want to be accepted by friends, and respected by colleagues, and recognized by society as valuable. Gradually, we become entangled in the endless pursuit of external validation. But the more we chase these standards, the more exhausted we become. Because the truth is, you cannot please everyone. There will always be people who dislike you, no matter how well you do. There will always be someone who judges you, even if you've done nothing wrong. And the more you try to please everyone, the more you lose yourself. The question is, do you really want to continue living like this? Not caring doesn't mean being indifferent. When people hear the phrase not caring, they often mistake it for indifference, for being apathetic towards life, for giving up on everything. But in reality, the right way to not care is about selectivity. You don't have to care about every opinion around you, but you can still care about those who truly love you. You don't have to please everyone, but you can still do what is right. You don't have to chase society's standards, but you can still live by your own values. Not caring is about knowing what deserves your attention and what doesn't. Where are you wasting your energy? Every day, you wake up with a limited amount of energy. It's like a full glass of water. You get to decide where to pour it. But most of us unconsciously waste it on things that don't matter. Have you ever noticed that a negative comment online can linger in your mind all day? A meaningless rumor can keep you up at night? A judgmental glance from a stranger can make you feel uneasy? This is how you drain your energy on things that add no real value. And if you keep doing this, you'll have no energy left for what truly matters. Now ask yourself, what actually deserves your attention? Your dreams? The people who love you? Your inner peace? You can't control everything, but you can control where you place your focus. Learn to say no. One of the most important steps to a lighter life is learning to say no. We often fear rejection because we don't want to be disliked, we don't want to offend, we don't want to be judged. But when you always say yes, you place unnecessary burdens on yourself. You agree to things you don't want to do. You engage in toxic relationships. You let others dictate your emotions. You have the right to say no. You can say no to meaningless conversations that waste your time. You can say no to relationships that bring only negativity. You can say no to societal standards that don't align with you. True freedom comes when you dare to say no to what no longer serves you. What happens if you stop caring about the unimportant? Imagine a day when you are no longer affected by gossip, a day when judgmental words no longer weigh you down, a day when you no longer feel the need to please everyone. On that day, you will feel lighter. On that day, you will live for yourself. On that day, you will be truly free. The right kind of not caring doesn't just bring you a peaceful mind, it helps you focus on what matters. You will have more time to do what you love. You will have more energy to grow. You will live a higher quality life, not because you have more, but because you have let go of the unnecessary. Step 1, try a no care day. If you want to experience the power of not caring, try practicing it for a day. Don't scroll through social media just to read negative comments. Don't let meaningless words from others bother you. Don't try to please everyone. Instead, focus on yourself, on what makes you happy. See how it feels. Does life feel lighter? And if you realize that you feel more at ease, more free, maybe it's time to start a new journey. A journey where you no longer let meaningless things control your life. A journey where you truly master your own mind. Because your life is too precious to waste on things that don't matter. Part 1, don't care about people who aren't worth it. You don't have to please everyone. And the truth is, you can't. Since childhood, we have been taught to be polite, to care about what others think, and to strive to be liked. But no one told us that there will always be people who don't like you, no matter how hard you try. Not because you're not good enough, but because they are not meant to be part of your journey. We spend too much time worrying about what others think of us, when in reality, most people are too busy with their own lives. You might think someone is judging you, but in truth, they are probably worried about how others are judging them. Not everyone cares about you, and that's a good thing. One of the biggest energy drains in life is the illusion that everyone is paying attention to you. But the reality is, most people don't notice you as much as you think. Do you remember the last time you saw someone wearing a strange outfit on the street? You might have thought about it for a few seconds, then moved on. Others do the same. They might notice you, judge you for a moment, but then continue with their lives. So why waste hours, even days, worrying about how people see you? The truth is, you are not as special as you think, and that's a good thing. It means you don't have to stress so much about pleasing everyone. You can live your life your way without being overly concerned about the opinions of others. 2. Trying to please everyone is the fastest way to burn out. Have you ever wondered why you always feel exhausted? Not just physically, but mentally? That's because you spend too much time trying to please everyone. You want to be the good person, the perfect person, the one that everyone likes. But the truth is, the more you try to please everyone, the more drained you become. When you try to please your boss, you might upset your colleagues. When you try to please your family, you might forget yourself. When you try to please your friends, you might lose your freedom. And no matter how hard you try, there will always be someone who isn't satisfied. So instead of trying to meet everyone's expectations, focus on those who truly matter. 3. If someone doesn't support you, let them go. There will be people who don't like you. That's just a fact. But instead of changing yourself to fit their expectations, learn to let go. Some people come into your life only to teach you a lesson, not to stay forever. Some people can't see your value, not because you aren't good enough, but because they lack the capacity to understand. You can't control what others think, but you can control how you respond. Learn to ignore people who don't deserve your attention. 4. You don't have to prove anything to anyone. Here's a simple truth that many people fail to realize. You don't owe anyone an explanation for your life. You don't have to prove that you're smart. You don't have to prove that you're successful. You don't have to prove that you deserve to be loved, because you are already enough. You don't need to chase society's standards, because society constantly changes. Today they praise you, tomorrow they might criticize you. If you keep chasing others' approval, you will never truly be happy. Instead, focus on yourself. Live the way you want, do what makes you happy, and let your results speak for you. 5. Choose your environment wisely. There's a saying, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Look around you. Who are you spending time with? Do they make you happy, or do they drain your energy? Do they inspire you, or do they pull you down? Not everyone deserves to be in your life. Not everyone deserves your time and energy. Choose people who support you, even when you're not perfect. Respect you, even if they disagree with you. Make you feel better, not worse. Toxic relationships drain your energy. Positive relationships help you grow. And most importantly, you have the power to choose. Conclusion: focus on what matters. Life is too short to waste time worrying about people who aren't worth it. You can't control what they think, but you can control your own thoughts. Give your attention to those who love you. Give your energy to what makes you happy. Focus on your own life instead of trying to please people who don't matter, because you deserve a lighter, more peaceful life. Part 2. Not everything is worth your worry. You can let everything bother you, or you can choose to let go. Peace or distress is your decision. We live in a noisy world where everything around us demands our attention. Phones ringing, emails flooding in, negative news everywhere, social media filled with controversial stories. On top of that, pressures from work, family, and society constantly pull us into a cycle of stress and anxiety. But have you ever asked yourself, are all these things really important? So many times in life, we let minor issues ruin an entire day. A stranger's unpleasant glance, a careless remark from a colleague, a negative comment on the internet, All of these can become big problems if we care too much. The truth is, not everything is worth your concern. Learning to let go of unimportant things is the key to a lighter, happier life. You cannot control the world, but you can control how you respond to it. 1. Accept that some things cannot be changed. There are things in life that no matter how hard you try, you simply cannot change. For example, you cannot change how others think of you. You cannot control other people's attitudes. You cannot prevent unwanted events from happening. But what you can do is choose how you react to them. If someone talks badly about you, you can spend the whole day being upset, or you can ignore it and move on. If a plan doesn't go as expected, you can complain, or you can adapt and move forward. Instead of trying to change things that are beyond your control, focus on what you can do. That is the fastest way to achieve peace of mind. 2. Think less, live more. We spend too much time overthinking. A single offhand comment can keep us awake at night. A past mistake can haunt us for months. But overthinking doesn't make problems disappear. It only makes you more stressed. Try to let your mind relax. Stop analyzing everything excessively. Stop trying to find hidden meanings in every word and action. Sometimes things are just as simple as they appear. Think less and focus on living. Enjoy the present instead of dwelling on the past or worrying about the future. 3. Small things are not worth ruining your day. Have you ever let a minor issue ruin your entire day? A spilled coffee? A reckless driver? A rude waiter? Are these things really worth losing a whole day of joy over? You cannot avoid small annoyances in life, but you can choose not to let them control your emotions. Next time something bothers you, ask yourself, will this matter a week from now? If the answer is no, then it's not worth stressing over right now either. 4. Social media is not real life. We live in a world where everyone can voice their opinions online, but not every opinion is worth your attention. A negative comment does not define who you are. Someone else's bragging post does not mean they are happier than you. A sensational news story does not mean the world is falling apart. Social media is just a small, highly edited part of life. Most of what you see is filtered and curated. Don't let illusions affect your real emotions. Live more in the real world, where meaningful moments don't need to be posted for validation. 5. Peace comes from acceptance, not control. Many people believe that if they can control everything, they will have a perfect life. But in reality, trying to control too much only makes you more exhausted. You cannot control other people's actions, but you can control how you respond. You cannot fully control your career, but you can control how you work every day. You cannot control every situation, but you can control your attitude towards them. Peace doesn't come changing everything, but from accepting and adapting to what is. Conclusion: choose what deserves your attention. Not everything in life is worth your focus. If you hold on to everything, you will live in constant stress and anxiety. Instead, be selective. Care about things that help you grow rather than things that hurt you. Care about people who love you rather than those who don't deserve your attention. Care about what you can change rather than what is beyond your control. When you learn to let go of what doesn't matter, life becomes lighter. And that is the true power of not caring. Part 3. Live for yourself. You have spent too much time pleasing others. It's time to live for yourself. Since childhood, we have been accustomed to living according to the expectations of others, studying as our parents wished, behaving according to societal norms, working according to corporate standards, and loving according to the expectations of those around us. Gradually, we forget what we truly want. Have you ever paused and asked yourself, who am I living for? Your life belongs to you, but are you letting others decide it? Are you truly pursuing what makes you happy, or are you just following a path laid out by someone else? Remember, you are not obligated to live according to others' expectations. You have the right to choose your own life, even if that choice displeases others. 1. You have the right to live your own way. Not everyone will agree with your choices, and that's okay. Do you want to change jobs but fear your family's disapproval? Do you want to pursue your passion but worry about society's judgment? Do you want to live a different life but are afraid of being criticized? The truth is, No one else can live your life for you. They may have opinions, they may criticize, but in the end, you are the one who will bear the consequences if you keep living according to someone else's desires. You don't need permission to be yourself. If it makes you happy and doesn't harm anyone, do what you want. Had you too. Success is not about having everything but knowing what's enough. We often think that the more we have, the more successful we are. More money, more fame, more connections. All of these may bring temporary satisfaction, but they do not guarantee true happiness. Happiness is not about having more, it's about appreciating what you already have. If you keep chasing material things without ever feeling content, you will always feel lacking. But if you learn to appreciate what you have, you will realize that you already have enough. 3. Money does not define your worth. We live in a world where a person's value is often judged by their income, assets, and status. But the truth is, money does not determine your worth. You may have little money, but still live a meaningful life. You may not have a prestigious job, but still have self respect. You may not have a luxurious lifestyle, but still have genuine relationships. Money is important, but it is not everything. Don't measure yourself by numbers. Measure yourself by how you live and how you treat others. 4. True freedom is not about having everything, but not being bound. Many people believe that freedom comes when they have a lot of money, status, and power. But in reality, freedom is not about having everything, it's about not being tied down. You may have a high paying job, but if you wake up every day exhausted and pressured, that is not freedom. You may have a luxurious life, but if you constantly fear losing what you have, that is not freedom. You may have many relationships, but if you always have to force yourself to please everyone, that is not freedom. True freedom is when you can live the way you want without being bound by unimportant things. It's when you can say no to things that don't suit you without feeling guilty. It's when you can choose happiness over meaningless expectations. 5. Live as the best version of yourself. You don't need to become someone else. You don't need to fit into a mold set by society. You just need to be the best version of yourself. That doesn't mean you have to be perfect. It means you accept yourself, love yourself, and continuously grow. Do what makes you happy. Pursue what you believe in. Live a life that, when you look back, you won't regret. Don't wait for one day to start living for yourself. Conclusion. You are the one who decides your life. Your life belongs to you, not your parents, not your friends, not society. You have the right to live the way you want, as long as you don't harm anyone. You have the right to pursue what you love, even if others don't understand. You have the right to say no to things that don't suit you, even if others disapprove. Don't wait until it's too late to realize that you spent your entire life living for others and forgetting yourself. It's time to live for yourself. Hence part 4. Don't be afraid of being hated. Others have the right to hate you, and you have the right not to care. There will always be people who don't like you. That is an unavoidable truth. You can be kind, sincere, and always do the right thing, yet someone may still dislike you for no reason. Maybe they are jealous, maybe they don't understand you, or maybe you simply don't align with their views. The question is, do you really need them to like you? Too many of us live in fear of being hated. We change ourselves to be accepted. We stay silent when we want to speak up. We try to please people who don't even matter to us. But the more we try, the more we lose ourselves. True freedom comes when you stop fearing being disliked. When you stop worrying about what others think of you, you can start living more authentically, more confidently, and more happily. 1. There will always be people who don't like you, and that's okay. No one in this world can please everyone. Even the greatest people in history have had their critics. You could be an incredible person, yet there will always be someone who dislikes you for one reason or another, or for no reason at all. That does not define your worth. It simply means that you don't fit into their worldview, and that is not your problem. Instead of trying to please everyone, focus your energy on the people who truly matter. You don't need to be loved by everyone. You only need to be loved by the right people. 2. Do what you want, not what others expect. How many times have you given up on what you wanted just because you were afraid of being judged? How many times have you lived according to others' expectations instead of doing what truly makes you happy? Fear of being disliked makes us live someone else's life, not our own. But remember, you don't owe anyone the life they expect from you. If you want to change careers, do it. If you want to travel alone, go. If you want to pursue your passion, chase it. No matter what you do, someone will always have something to say. So why not do what you truly want instead of living to please others? 3. Stop seeking permission to be yourself. You don't need anyone's approval to live the way you want. Yet so many of us are waiting for permission from family, from friends, from society. Why? You have the right to live your way without needing anyone's validation. You don't need a stranger on the internet to agree with your opinions. You don't need your colleagues' approval to pursue your passion. You don't need society's acceptance to live by your own values. Give yourself permission to be exactly who you are. 4. What others think is not as important as how you see yourself. We often place too much value on other people's opinions. A single compliment can make us happy for a day, while a single criticism can haunt us for a week. But the truth is, your worth is not determined by what others say. It is determined by how you see yourself. If you believe in your path, no one can shake you. If you know you deserve good things, negative words won't hurt you. You are the only one who decides your value. Don't give that power to anyone else. 5. When you stop caring about being hated, you become free. Fear of being disliked, an invisible chain. It holds you back, stops you from doing what you want, and keeps you from living as your true self. But when you let go of that fear, you will realize that no one actually has power over you. When you stop caring about judgment, you will dare to follow what you believe in. When you stop fearing people's opinions, you will become more confident. When you stop letting others control you, you will take full ownership of your life. And that is true freedom. Conclusion: let people think what they want and live your life. You can't control how others perceive you, but you can control how you react to them. You can let them hurt you, or you can ignore them and keep moving forward. There are billions of people in this world, and you don't need everyone's approval. Focus on the people who love you, the ones who understand you, and most importantly, yourself, because you don't need to be liked by everyone, you just need to like yourself. Part 5. Choose happiness over worry. Your life can be filled with worries or filled with happiness. It depends on what you choose to focus on. We often think of happiness as something distant, something we must achieve through hard work, making lots of money, and gaining the recognition of others. But in reality, happiness is not a destination, it is a choice. You can choose to focus on what makes you anxious, or you can choose to focus on what brings you joy. You can choose to let judgments hurt you, or you can choose to ignore them. You can choose to live under pressure, or you can choose to enjoy life. Happiness is not something you have to wait for. It is here, right now, if you are willing to let go of things that are not worth your concern. 1. Happiness is not a destination, but how you travel. Many people delay their happiness. They say, when I have more money, I will be happy. When I get promoted, I will be happy. When I find true love, I will be happy. But then they achieve those things and they still don't feel truly happy. They set a new goal and the cycle continues, always chasing happiness without ever truly experiencing it. Happiness is not in the future. It is in how you live today. If you cannot find joy now, you will not find it even after achieving what you desire. Peace comes from within, not from the outside world. Many people believe that if they have a perfect life, no problems, no struggles, no criticism, they will find peace. But the world will never be perfect. There will always be challenges, things that don't go as planned, and people who don't like you. If you base your peace on external circumstances, you will always feel restless. True peace does not come from controlling the outside world, but from controlling your inner world. When you learn to let go of what you cannot change and focus on what truly matters, you will feel peace, no matter what happens around you. 3. Be grateful for what you have. We often focus on what we lack rather than appreciating what we already have. Do you have a home that shelters you? That is something to be grateful for. Do you have people who love you, even if it's just a few? That is something to cherish. Do you have a healthy body that allows you to live and experience life? That is a gift. Happiness does not come from having everything. It comes from realizing that you already have enough. Part 4, don't postpone happiness. Have you ever told yourself, I will enjoy life later? I will rest when work becomes stable. I will make time for myself when things are less busy. But then you keep postponing. Life keeps moving, and you never actually take the time to enjoy the present moment. Happiness is not something to save for the future, it is something to enjoy now. Smile more. Do what you love. Spend time with the people who matter to you, because life is too short to wait for the perfect day. The perfect day is today. Live lightly, live simply, live freely. We often make life more complicated than it needs to be. We worry about things that don't matter. We push ourselves to please others. We chase things that society tells us we need. But life can be much simpler. You don't need to have everything. You only need what truly matters. You don't need to please everyone. You only need to be true to yourself. You don't need to prove anything. You only need to enjoy each moment of life. Let go of what is unnecessary, and you will feel freer than ever. Happiness is about letting go. Your life will change the moment you learn one thing. Not everything is worth worrying about. You don't need to care about people who aren't worth it. You don't need to stress over small things. You don't need to live according to others' expectations. You don't need to fear being disliked. You don't need to postpone your happiness, because happiness is not about having everything. It is about letting go of what doesn't matter. Live a lighter, simpler, and freer life. Free your mind from unnecessary worries. Spend your time and energy on what truly brings meaning. Because in the end, when you stop worrying about things that don't matter, you will realize a simple yet powerful truth. You already have everything you need to be happy.